went to get a Coke.
Martin will get a Coke by the time we do the pledge and everything. He'll be back there.
Welcome to the Commissioners' meeting of 29 September. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and a short prayer? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, we ask your blessing on this meeting and on our country and this county, and may we conduct our business in a way that would be pleasing to you. In Jesus' name, amen. Have the commissioners had time to review the minutes from the last meeting?
Make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Minutes accepted by a vote of 3-0. Have the commissioners been able to review the payroll?
I'll make a motion to accept payroll as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Payroll is accepted by a vote of 3-0. Commissioners had a chance to review the claims.
Make a motion we accept the claims.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Claims accepted by a vote of 3-0. Mr. Murphy could not be with us tonight, so we'll go down to agreements. First agreement we have is with Hartmans and Williams, LLC, a capital compiling. They give us a bid, an hourly bid, for helping the auditor's office with compiling capital assets. Any discussion by the commissioners?
Well, the state changed the statute for what constitute a fixed asset. We have to add roads, basically everything, whether it's roads, bridges, culverts, radios. The list is endless, isn't that right, Debbie? Anything over $500 has to be listed, and that is just going to be overwhelming for the auditor to try to take on singularly. So with that said, I'll make a motion to accept this as presented.
All those in favor of accepting an agreement between Henry County and Hartman and Williams, LLC?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Vote passes 3-0. Next agreement we have is an agreement with Baker Tilly for their investment advisory services. This has to do with the ARP money that the county's receiving over the next 2 years. Well, we got half of it already. And it's a large sum of money, potentially up to $9 million.
And so we are going to try to invest part of it while we are not using it. And that's what we are using Baker Tilly for. Any questions? Discussion?
I'll make a motion to accept this.
Second.
All those in favor of hiring Baker Tilly as our investment advisors?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Any questions about the county treasurer's monthly report?
I'll make a motion to accept as presented.
Second.
All those in favor of accepting the treasurer's report?
Aye.
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 While we're on the treasurer, I don't think we had it anywhere else, because we didn't have to prove it, but he is, due to COVID, he is, as of Monday, October the 5th, and is posted on all the doors, he is going to be closing his office to the public. The employees will be there processing payments. They have the drop boxes in place, and they receive payments at the banks, at the various places that they will always receive payments until further notice. I don't think he has an end date on this, but just letting the public know.
Okay, next on our itinerary is the Idam, Indiana Department of Environmental Management. They're just notifying us that there are 2 applications to them pending for sanitary sewer construction permits. One is from the mayor of Newcastle, and the second is from Bob Guyton, KDC Investments of Knightstown, Indiana. I don't think we have to vote on those. We have several quotes for different types of work to consider tonight. First one has to do with storm damage that we had to the Saddle Club recently during the last pretty big windstorm. And we have a few bids to consider. One is for simply the material from Custom Metal Industries, and that is for $2,496. The other bid is to install the and repair the skylights and use that material from the previous bid, and it is from Blake Nutty Company, and it is for $1,440. So the total from both of those sources is $3,936. And then we have a bid from DeBrule for doing both supplying both the material and the labor, and that is for $6,300. Is there any discussion by the commissioners? Any questions from the public? Hearing none, I'll make a motion that we accept the bid from Custom Metal Industries for the material and Blake Nutty. The material again was $2,496, and the labor from Blake Nutty was $1,440 for a total of $3,936. Make a motion that we accept those bids.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Now we have 3 bids here for purchasing furniture for the new jail. And I believe, I guess I can tell you what those bids are, but I think we have to go back to the drawing table or at least get a clarification from the State Board of Accounts as to whether or not we can accept one of these bids. Or do we have to go out and get additional bids? But right now, we have a bid from, this is pretty much all the furnishings that go into the new jail. And we have a bid from National Business Furniture, and their bid is for $159,826.23. We have a second bid from Complete Office, and their bid is for $210,731 even. And we have a third bid from OfficeFurniture.com, and their bid is $162,323. But we are tabling this for tonight, or at least I guess I will make the motion to table this until we can get a ruling from the State Board of Accounts.
I'll second that.
Martin, can you give an explanation as to why we have to do this?
In the public bidding for goods, like capital projects here, there are three division lines. One is under 50,000, and the next segment is 50,000 but less than 150,000, and the third one is above 150. And you get into the public bidding requirements, the more onerous requirements if it gets above 150. My understanding is the bid is involving shipping and handling as part of that bid. Your good faith estimate on those the furniture was 150 or less, and so right there, it may well be that the bid includes shipping and handling. You may well have to go back to the drawing board on that, but it's right at the dividing line there. $9,000 and $8,000. No, $9,826. $9,826 is the amount over. And so we got to make sure we're in compliance with that. We cannot break the bids down into separate project or separate bids to do these things. So it probably may well be we're going back to the drawing board with that because of that. And so between 50 and 150, we have each requirements. We can solicit bids under certain circumstances and standards. And unfortunately, it came in just a little bit over. So.
Thank you, Martin.
Yes.
We also have a bid here.
We didn't vote. We just had a motion and a second.
Who seconded it? Steve, okay.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to table this till the next meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those against?
We all voted aye.
I didn't hear you.
Yeah, we all voted aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Next item is a bid, and I thought I had two bids here, one for brand new and one for refurbished.
No, that's the keyboard. This is
The card reader?
card reader.
We just have the one bid? Okay. We need a new card reader over in the Justice Center, and the card reader cost is $495 from Havel Company, and the labor, if required, is $625.
Justin Holmes told me that the labor would not be required, I believe.
Jeff, our IT man who's already on contract, I guess, can install this. So we're talking about buying a new card reader for $495. Any discussion?
I'll make a motion to accept the quote as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes to get the new card reader 3-0. Okay, this is the one where we have a choice between getting a new one or a refurbished one. And this is for a keyboard, also for the Justice Center.
It's a keyboard for their
Excuse
X-ray
me.
unit, for their X-ray unit.
And the cost of the new one is $2,261.30 from Smith's Detection Incorporated. And the cost for a refurbished one is $995.
Again, after speaking with Justin Holmes, he said that he is perfectly fine with the refurbished. He is the one that put these quotes together, got these quotes, and he is fine with the refurbished option. So with that in mind, I will make a motion to accept the $995 quote for the new keyboard.
Before I second that, is there a warranty on the refurbished one?
Doubt it.
If
Okay.
there is, it is not stated on,
It's not stated.
What I have here.
Typically refurbished.
I was going to say, I didn't see one, but I just wanted to make sure. I'll second that motion.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next item is we have quotes for painting and carpet and some other work in the Justice Center. One is coming from the building maintenance in the area of the 911 service. They want the basement painted, and it has not been painted for 20-some-odd years. They have 3 bids. One from American Design for $7,864.50. One from Julian Painting from $4,183. And one from David Gilbert Painting for $2,775. I have, since the bids were quite a bit different, I knew 2 of the companies. I called Mr. Gilbert, found out that he does work for Sproles and Company here in town. Any questions about these bids?
I would like to, since we're going to, I know we have more people that have submitted bids, and there's going to be more people submitting. I wonder if we table this and meet with everybody so we can get maybe one painter to paint everybody, one person to do all the carpet, instead of each and every office getting their own quotes for carpet, paint, and plumbing. We might get better pricing for that. Instead of everybody singularly going out and getting different quotes, because I know, obviously, we know that probation has done a quote, dispatch 911 has done a quote, and I know that there was at least 2 or 3 more that will be wanting to put in stuff to redo their offices over there, and it makes sense that maybe we, instead of having a bunch of people come in and quote, that we could get better pricing if we see what everybody wants and have them quote all at once.
I would second that motion.
We have a motion and a second to wait on the bidding process, since we have several offices involved in the Justice Center. So we will vote on that, whether it should be tabled.
Nope. Okay, yeah, sorry.
Do the commissioners believe this should be tabled until in the future when we can have one bid?
I made the motion, Steve seconded it, you just have to ask for a vote.
I-
Okay.
I'm asking for a vote.
Aye.
Aye.
I will vote aye. Motion passes 3-0. This
Hang on one.
Jeff Lutz, our IT person, has put together this package. It has to deal with installing security cameras in 3 different buildings. This building, the Justice Center across the street, and the Masonic Building on the opposite corner across the street. I guess, Bobby, you know the most about this. You want to? There's several bids in here.
We have several bids, so. The first one is for this courthouse, security cameras in the basement. I mean, I don't need to list wherever security camera's going to go, but the first quote for the cameras themselves is $34,442 with, if we want RAID storage upgrade, we would add another 28. And I know we probably need the RAID. I'm just going to say we need the RAID storage upgrade instead of trying to explain it. So the total would be, $37,285 for the cameras and themselves and installation. And then to go along with that is all of the data cabling that is required to connect those to the network. And that total is $14,250 for security cameras here in this building. For a total of $52,535, which would be paid out of the GO bond.
We've had several complaints over the last couple of years that the buildings are not secure enough and that we do live in a dangerous world.
So on this one, I will make a motion to accept the bids from SAS and, I never can remember.
Is there any more discussion from you, Steve? Any questions? Okay, what's your motion then?
To accept the bid from SAS for the cameras and from Custom Electrical Services for the data cabling totaling, if I've added it up correctly, $52,535 to equip this building with security cameras.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
And then the next one we have is the Masonic Building, same thing, cameras, and it totaling $8,760, and data cabling totaling $5,600 for a total of $14,360.
Is it the same company?
Same companies, yes. SAS and Custom Electrical Services are the same 2 companies. So that totals $14,360. So I will make a motion to accept those bids for the Masonic Building.
Where are we paying that from?
Again, from the GO bond.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion for security cameras for the Masonic Building passes 3-0.
And then finally, the third one is the Justice Center cameras, additional cameras, because they do have quite a bit of cameras, but additional cameras in that building for a total of $23,030 for the cameras and $16,250 for the data cabling, for a total 39,280. This one will come out of the building corp bond. And I will make a motion to accept these two quotes as well.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Next item is for trip lights and Get 5E patch cables, and you might illuminate us a little bit on that also.
Yes, so the trip light UPSs, we are in the process of replacing all of our network, upgrading all of our network switches and routers to a tune of nearly $250,000, which was taken out of, I believe, the GO bond as well. And we don't have battery backups or surge protection on those, so replacing or adding battery backups for that is a total of $7,500 to protect our $250,000 investment. So I will make a motion to accept that quote as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 And the patch cables is just networking patch cables that he needs to keep an inventory to help clean up all the data closets, and that is $500. So I will make a motion to accept that quote as well.
I'll second the motion on the patch cables. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Do we have any department reports? Angela here? No. Highway Department, Joe, you got anything?
Oh, hang on, Joe, let me get your mic.
Okay.
This is paperwork is a change order number 1 for the resurfacing project this year with Milestone Contractors. It is for the VRAM that's going to be placed on Dublin Pike. You've already approved the VRAM, the void reducing asphalt membrane, and what this is, it's just putting it in writing. Milestone needs it in writing. Yeah, that's all it is.
I'll make a motion to honor their request and put this in writing.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
The change order does require a notary, so I'll just leave a copy with you so that you can sign it and get it notarized. So. And then I'll need a copy to send to Milestone. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Steve, you got anything? Sheriff? What did he say?
He said he's good for now. You want to do a brief update on the jail while it's at the sheriff?
What's that?
You said you want to do a brief update on the jail since he doesn't have anything.
Well, we had a meeting on our new jail this morning, and things are going fairly well. We have not had to get into any of our extra funds that we put aside, or at least we have not hit them very hard. We are pretty much on target for our February-March completion time. If you haven't been by there, take a drive by. It's a massive building. Going to be a big addition to this county, and the work is coming along very well. They're putting drywall up and painting now. All the cells are in. It will clear up a whole lot of headaches for the sheriff once it gets done. Anybody have any questions about the jail? So far, our architect and our general contractor are doing, I think, a very reasonable job. We can be pretty happy with them up to this point anyway. Any questions about the jail? Any other department heads here that have a report? Tracy, you got anything for the park?
One thing I just want to let you know is that our second annual fall festival. You mean you can't hear me?
I honestly can't.
Okay, so our second annual fall festival is coming up October 16th. We've had an enormous outpouring. People are really looking forward to it. So we've got a lot of booths scheduled. We've got food trucks. We're having a kids fishing contest. We will be having our safe trick or treat from 3 to 6. Anybody who would like to participate in that, we do have some shelters. You can have those free if you decorate and pass out candy. Also, in the center of the park, also we will be allowing people to do like trunk or treat, or if you want to bring a canopy and set that up. But you do have to register with the park. I do want to know who's there. So they can call the park and take care of that. And we'll be doing that costume contest. The extension office is doing a couple of things. We'll have a complete calendar at the end of the week. And the last thing we will have is a movie on the hill again in conjunction with the library. So October 16th. Anybody that's interested, please get a hold of the park and we'll get you all set up. I think that's it.
What's the carp count in the pond?
We don't want to talk about that. You can come out and fish all you want, Ed. I'll even provide the bait for you.
I want bass in there.
You come right on out.
All right. Thank you. Any other department reports? Next item, down to new business. Need to approve the 2022 claims and payroll schedule. Commissioners, have you a chance to look at that claims and payroll schedule?
Make a motion to accept the claims and payroll schedule for 2022 as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes to accept the claims and payroll schedule. Next item is a surety bond for Jana Posey of Louisville.
I'll make a motion to accept the bond as presented for Jana Posey.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Our good county attorney has been working diligently for the past several months, probably. And tonight, we have not got 100%, but I think we are very close, and we are going to try and move this along as a token of good faith. I will turn this over to Martin to talk about our decommissioning agreement, the road use agreement, and drainage agreement we have been working on for Light Source BP.
Let me first, is it on? Okay. Move close, okay. Let me first start with the road use and drainage agreement. That is one agreement. And before I start, we have Vince Green here from Light Source. And I have been working with him, but more so with their attorney, Heather, on the road usage agreement. We have gone back and forth and made several changes on that, and I believe that we are in a place where we can at least preliminarily approve it, subject to some conditions. And the document I would have for public approval would be the one submitted to us, the last draft submitted to us on September 28th. That was yesterday at about 7:20 p.m. So for the record, we could have that established. And what we have on that is, I believe we have reached in principle agreement subject to the following. One is there are numerous exhibits attached to the agreement, and they number, for the record, make sure that the record's complete. Starting on page 21 of the agreement, they list the following exhibits that need to be completed, and before the agreement is complete. It would be the roads and affected drains agreement, the site plan including underground crossings, the driveway locations. Exhibit C1 would be the typical driveway diagram. C2 would be the table of driveway entrances. Exhibit D would be the road and drain upgrade and restoration schedule. And D1 would be the typical reconstructed roads diagram. Exhibit E would be the typical improved corners, and then Exhibit F would be the bore and open trench underground crossing locations. Some of these cannot be established until we have the agreement in effect. For example, Exhibit A, the roads and affected drains, would require that the county we first come to an agreement, and then we prepare that it's a cooperation effort of both the Bellflower and also the county. I did ask for a change in that, and they have agreed to it. The roads and affected drains, the roads would be not only the roads that are identified in the project, but they'd be the roads one layer out, if the next road's out, each north, south, east, or west. And the reason I wanted that in there was if there was an improper use of the roads, or if they had to do it in an emergency, I want to be able to establish a standard that we can show what the condition of the road was at the start of the project and what it was at the end of construction. So we have something to measure those roads against. And we do have those that are already in the project, but we did not have those. So we have that, be subject to those. And then, let me get here one other thing. We did ask for some changes to it, and they have been made, and those changes were addressing the road, and we also have two other changes that they address there on that. So I believe that we are in agreement with principles subject to the completion of the exhibits there, and that is my understanding of that. So, and again, some of those exhibits must be completed after the agreement is signed, but some will be completed before. So we want to make sure that that's properly done. Everybody's on the same page there. I'll stop here, and Joe's here also, and so I'd like Joe to offer his comment because he's reviewed these documents, and also Steve has on those. And, Joe, have I covered what we might want to come up for? Have I covered what we have addressed here on the roads and drains agreement?
Yes, sir. There was only one item that we caught at the last minute, and that was, there was only one item that we saw that bothered us a little, and that was warranty. But I think we've worked that out as far as what we can do with that. The warranty is for what's been done, okay? I mean, as far as roads and drainage. And what I was looking for is like workmanship warranty and warranty on materials. I usually specify 1 year in my bids for contractors, and Steve would prefer, am I correct, 2 years for the drainage. So, and I believe that Bellflower has agreed to look into that and see what they could do. So,
Look into it or agreed to make the change?
well, here's the problem. It's in the agreement now that their suppliers and contractors, their warranties will follow along to us, okay? But the problem is we don't know the length of those warranties. We don't know how long they're good for.
They could be 6 months, they could be 2 years, they could be 5 years.
Yeah, that's the only problem I had was how long.
So we can make this subject to clarification on that also.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, everything else that we asked for has been taken care of.
A couple of things that we requested and they provided there. One was there's a bond that's being posted, and they provided in the original draft that would be a surety bond or a letter of credit. Well, I'm on the newer book of the letter of credit, but we both agreed on a surety bond. And there's been a couple of changes to the surety bond, but that will be subject to approval, separate document, separate approval, as we get closer to this project. They named the company that they will use. We have a right to object to that. And then I wanted some notice provisions put in there if the bond were canceled. They had a 90-day, the surety could cancel the bond within 90 days. And I wanted some notice for the county on that, and they've agreed to do that, and also agreed to replace the bond if it's canceled for any reason within 90 days of the life of the bond. So we've got that protection there. And then also there's another one, works in both agreements, the decommission too. If we had to decommission, we wanted to make sure that we had access to a bond removal post for that. And they agreed that we would have access to it. Before it provided, we had to do all the decommission and then ask for the reimbursement on that. This is either petition or ask, request the bond company to pay as we go along. So I'm sorry. If you can't hear me, let me know. And please don't answer these questions too. I guess I need to go first. The decommissioning agreement and the roads agreement also provided for assurance of payment if we had to decommission the project, the cost of that. That's addressed in there, but at the original draft we had, they wanted that to be done at the end of the project. I said, I don't think that's fair because the county should not have to front that money up front and then go after the bond. So they've agreed we would have access to those funds if we had to decommission the project. The county will only have to decommission the project if the company fails to do it, Bellflower, the landowners fail to do it. We are third in line in terms of decommission, and we don't have to do it. It's optional with us. So I want some protection there, and they worked with us on that. We have some language on that. There will be no economic development agreement, as I understand it, and we have those provisions. Vince, you're here. Have I thoroughly stated what those changes were and where we are with the roads and drainage?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Shields. I think we're all in agreement there. I think we just need to work with our attorney to make sure you guys have the language on the warranty, to make sure that what is in the agreement is passed on from our contractors. So yeah, other than that, I don't have anything else.
There is a separate agreement. There's a separate agreement, the decommissioning agreement itself, which is different than the roads and drains, and that also dovetails with the decommission, the bond there, and the schedule. Again, that language was changed there to reflect we would have access to those bonds before we had to completely do it, if we elected to do it, before we did it, and then we could draw those funds while we push the project. And there are other changes that have been made. Joe has looked at this, and I relied a lot on Joe's judgment on the those provisions. And again, the decommissioning agreement that I have, the final draft, is effective as of September 28th at 7:20 p.m. That's the document we're working on. So,
I know there were some questions about private drains.
there were questions. This agreement only, and I discussed this with Steve and with Joe specifically today. This agreement only covers public drains or regulated drains, as they call. We do not. This is not addressing private drains. That's going to be between the landowners and the developer. We're not a part of that. The only issue that I understand there was one if a private drain hooked into a regulated drain, and I'm not sure I've heard the answer to that yet.
The county would be,
Because if you were hooked to the main drain, if we go through and rebuild it, we have to hook those back up anyway.
Well, would we then be reimbursed for our cost for that from the company or not?
That'll be in the whole project. Yeah.
Is that a yes?
Sharing that cost.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay.
is that in that agreement?
I don't recall seeing it as we stand here. I cannot recall. Joe, these agreements are,
Yeah, I've read them. They're, yeah.
I can't, I have no ability to recall right now if that's in there. That was raised late today, so I may, I'm going to rely upon Joe and Steve on that language, and if it needs to be clarified, we need to get that clarified too. So, I think the effort here is to move along in good faith and not hold a complete issue up, but to narrow down the issues as best we can, identify those, and then address those before the final two. You'll have to come back and address these again, and you will have to do certain things in terms of exhibits. Appointing a road inspector or a project inspector, there's some things you have to do there. You have to approve certain things, and I am developing a date list on those that if the company gives us notice that we have so many days to respond, so we want some trigger dates to go into the system so we can all know what those dates are and when we need to respond. We don't want to miss a date if they promise us certain things and then we don't, right? So that's on top of this agreement, but we want to make sure those are clearly identified so we know where to respond. Vance, can you help us any at all on the private goes into a regulated drain issue?
Yeah, I think we're okay with including the warranty extending anything that hooks into a private drain. We've actually physically mapped out the tiles that are out there, so we know what's there and we know what we're impacting. If we're impacting it, we're fixing it. First, we're trying to avoid it because we know where it is, and then if we are impacting it, then we're repairing it beforehand.
One concern that we had that's been in the past is there was an older private drain that hooks in that we may not know the location of that private drain. That's kind of the one that, because I think more of the drains put in recently are more marked and identifiable, but some of these drains are years and years old that still function in some fashion. I just want to make sure that we.
Starting right there, reading that down through the end.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the mapping goes, I would say that, we mapped the biggest tiles that we could. So there'll be 3-inch tiles out there that have been out there for a long time. We may have not have caught a 2-inch or 3-inch, but I think we caught the biggest ones. In the agreement here, it says the parties agree that this agreement shall apply to affected drains listed in the drain location map set forth in Exhibit A and any other connecting directly thereto which are damaged in connection with the completion of the project, whether or not such drains are included in the drain location map. So we provide a drain location map, and that's going to consist of the public tiles that are already out there, plus the ones we've mapped. But if there's a drain on there that we haven't mapped, and we do damage it, and it does cause a problem, then we're responsible according to this language.
And that's the eroded drains. What page are you on?
That's page 4.
Joe, does that satisfy your concerns that you raised? I'll answer any other questions you may have on this. See the language on page 4. Do the commissioners have any other questions on me? Well, what we're
Hearing no questions, I will make a motion that we accept these agreements with the caveat that anything discussed here tonight that was not quite finished will be finished in the near future, except for some of the exhibits which cannot be finished until the project gets underway.
One of the first ones you'll need to address is that exhibit for defining the roads that are affected, and those, that has to be completed. If you can't do that, then we have agreement to proceed with it. You need to appoint someone, I believe, for that, and the surveyor and highway engineer will be involved in that process too. And the roads and mountain roads.
Will that be included? You said you were going to have a list of items that had to be done with a suspense date.
Yes, and that is one of the first ones you'll face is that bridge.
Do we have a second on that motion?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Can I make a statement first?
Yes.
I'm not necessarily against approving this tonight. I, as a business person, have a problem signing or agreeing to anything that is not absolutely finalized, and this is it. Minus the exhibits and the things that have to be done after. I don't like agreeing to contracts and agreements that are provisional, and that's where I'm going to stay.
We had a motion and a second. We will have to have a vote on that. Ms. Plummer?
Nope. Based upon my previous statement, no.
Mr. Dellinger?
Aye.
I will vote yes also. So that passes by a vote of 2-1. Thank you.
Yes, yeah, thank you. And with regard to the follow-ups, we're moving quickly on this project, so all this stuff should be buttoned up in the next, 2 to 3 weeks. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We meet again in 2 weeks.
Okay, the last item is not on the agenda. We have been talking for several months with our attorney here, and he has been talking with the Rush County attorney, or Randolph County, excuse me, trying to iron out an agreement to share Mr. Joe Copeland, and we have just about ironed that out. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Shields to explain where we are on that.
There is a statute, two statutes in Indiana that permit counties to share a certified licensed engineer who resides in the state of Indiana. You can share those. The first statute on that provides, standing alone, the first statute provides that if a county employs a licensed engineer, licensed by the state of Indiana, and that person lives in Indiana, then the county can receive a grant and aid or a stipend from the state of Indiana of $40,000 a year. We have been making use of that statute and that payment for at least since Joe's been here. And we, for example, last year for the 2020 year, the county was reimbursed on April 15th of their $20,000. There is a separate statute that says if you share an engineer and you meet those requirements, including each county has shared the engineer for at least a year, then each county would receive a grant and aid stipend from the state of $40,000 each also. So if you have an agreement that provides that and meets those requirements, and meets the other statutory requirements for an interlocal agreement, an agreement between two agents, two counties, then they would reimburse $80,000, a total of $40,000 each on those. Randolph County needs an engineer, and we've been talking with one of the commissioners. We've met, and we've also talked with their attorney on this for quite a period of time. These agreements need to be approved by more than one entity. Henry County Commissioners would have to approve it. The Board of Commissioners of Randolph County would have to approve it, along with their county council and along with our county council. Also, we would want this to be in compliance with our policies, so Wagner and Irving from Muncie, who does our HR work and compliance work from that standpoint, would need to approve it too. Where we are is we've reached a tentative agreement subject to those approvals, and this is one of those agreements you're going to have again, Bobby, you just addressed. But someone has to start somewhere, and if it's your desire to do so, we have an agreement that can be presented to Randolph County Commissioners and their council and our council that would provide for that interlocal agreement. There would be basically, after the payment of the $80,000, there would be a cost sharing of the balance of the salary, benefits, and other office cost, vehicle cost, and other costs which we are identifying. And there would be a sharing of those of 50%. Randolph County would provide a stipend for a telephone. They do tax if they provide the vehicle. They do assess $3 a day for each day that an employee has use of one of their vehicles for personal use. So we've gone through that, we've identified that, and we are in agreement on principle on all items, as I understand it. They made some suggestions, we made those changes. We're in agreement on all items with the exception of their approval, council approval, our council approval, and also listing what those exact expenses are. Those are being in the process of being calculated. We've also checked on the issue of insurance, and not to have a violation there. The statute specifically permits the sharing. There's a statute on engineers only that provides this sharing, and we've checked with also our insurance company, our insurance carrier, our insurance agent about that issue. And it's my understanding is he's assured us that that is not a problem. They use it all the time in private agreements, so that's what we have here, and I presented that to you on that, but we'd have to, again, make it subject to the approval, and that we're no way we're going to get around that. It's going to have to be subject to three entities are going to have to approve it after one commissioner approves it. It's been presented to Randolph County. Their attorney has reviewed it. He's acceptable where we are, and it's subject to now their commissioner's approval. They have it, and they will be reviewing it, and so will their council, and we'll have to do the same thing here. This is not a final agreement, but it is finalized as far as we have it in writing, except for the plugging in the cost, actual benefits, cost of benefits and salary. So we've identified the vehicle expense, as I understand, and also the reimbursement for expenses we're paying out. We have some GIS payments, some software payments we've already made. If the agreement becomes effective before year end, obviously Randolph County would not be eligible for the $40,000 stipend or a percentage of it. So they have agreed to make up that percentage for those months if it became an example. For example, if it came approved for effective November 1, they would have to make up 2 of the 12 months or 1/6 of that $40,000 stipend, so we would be equal. We don't want us bearing that cost. So that's where we are on that. Any questions, I'll be happy to answer, but it would be, again, an approval subject to the figures being placed in the agreement and also the approval of the other entities.
I have a couple of issues. A,
Yes.
what I did before.
Yes.
And B, why was this presented without me knowing that it was going to be on the itinerary?
I
Or
can't.
anybody else knowing that it was going to be on the itinerary?
I can't address that issue. I don't know. That's going to have to come from someone else. I would note that your notice there at the bottom of the itinerary does talk about language providing for an agreement or something to that effect down there. But that's going to have to come from the people to your right, not me. So.
Why was I not notified that this was on the itinerary?
There's several things on the itinerary that I was not notified of, but
It was written on the itinerary.
we have, and there's probably a good reason why this was not. However, I think this is not a real finalized. We are just acting in good faith, trying to move this along. We've been working on it for several months. And I think we are ready to at least show Randolph County that we are interested in making this agreement.
You had another question, Bobby? No. Okay.
Mine was, it's not a finalized, as, I'm a business person, I would expect that as a business person, I won't sign a contract that's not finalized.
You're not signing
Or
anything.
agree to anything provisional. I don't do that.
Okay.
I think it's bad business. But my main concern is, I, as a commissioner, was not notified that this was going to be on the itinerary.
Well, let me at least address the second one, not the first one. The second one is, someone's going to have to initiate this process, and it's going to be provisional until all other entities approve it. It will not be finalized. It'll be subject to their approval. The last entity, a council, either Henry County or Randolph County, could request that there be a change made. So we will not have a final agreement approved until it's approved by all 4 entities, and that will be when it's approved. It's going to be conditional until then. Someone has to make the move first. And
I guess my main issue is this was not put on the itinerary for the public, for anybody in the public to come and ask any questions, for anybody employed in the county to ask any questions. It was done blindsided.
okay.
And that is absolutely wrong.
And again, if any of the employees have questions about can I do it or part-time employee, the answer is there's a specific statute that says this is available to.
No, I mean,
engineers.
I understand that, but what if they want to voice their opinion about this and how it might affect the county? The fact that it was not done,
Yeah,
put on a public itinerary for everybody to know what's going on,
yeah,
seems like it's backhanded
yeah.
and done in secret.
Well-
And I personally have a problem with that as a seated commissioner.
Yeah. I can tell you that it will be subject to a vote of these commissioners at least once more, and the county council once at least, and the same thing in Randolph County. And that's, again, I cannot address the issue as to when it was placed on the agenda or why or when. I can't address that.
Is there any more discussion? And I would like to make a motion that we accept the interlocal agreement between Randolph and Henry County with the stipulation that it is not 100% complete, that we are accepting this as an effort to move the process along, and that there will be another opportunity to vote on this in the future.
I'll second it as long as all the provisions are met that Martin's brought forth.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Guess that's a no.
You didn't ask for a no vote. You asked all those in favor.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes 2-1.
Motion to adjourn.
Meeting is adjourned. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Steve, can I see your second?